Well, are you ready to laugh out loud? Well, premier Filipino American comedian Rex Navarrete is back in town for his upcoming one-night stand-up show at the Music Museum, and the event is happening next Saturday, July 22nd. The OG comedian joins us right now here in the studio. Good morning to you, Rex. Welcome back. It's been way too long.
It's been way too long. What happened the last 5 years? I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm kind of busy. The world was kind of like doing something else.
That's right. Well, of course, we are so happy to have you back here. You know, what brought about this trip to Manila? It's a short trip for you.
It's a very short trip, but it's been a trip I've been waiting for the last since the pandemic kind of is coming to a close. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there's a new fan base over here too, and that's a good thing. While this whole wait was happening, the guys from the gang from Comedy Manila has really brought this resurgence of stand-up comedy, and they look up to me as one of their mentors, and they bring the old man back.
Okay.
And so I just love playing with them, and so we're doing this show, and it's going to be for this new audience as well as the audience that has always been following me.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. I mean, your show is coming up July 22nd at the Music Museum. You said you're going to cater to I don't know how many different types of audiences. Mm-hmm. I mean, from the news and to us that has been following you from way back when. So what kind of comedy, or what can we expect? The old and the new and the in between.
It's going to be stuff I've been working on for the last few years that really hasn't been on stage as much. And of course, people keep clamoring for the classics,
of course,
and I can't.
Of course.
Being a comic is almost like being a musician. They want to hear the hits.
Yeah.
So I'll especially this new generation who we're way too young to come to a show to see the stuff that they're now discovering online. This thing called the interwebs, and I'll bring some of that, as well as the lineup is going to be other comics from Comedy Manila. They get to see their new local heroes of comedy, get to perform with me.
And it was quite interesting. Before we went on camera, and you were talking, about like people look up to you, and of course they love you and they follow you online and whatnot. But way back when, as you were saying, you grew up here, went to the States, and you would just come back here, to visit. So what inspired you, or as you mentioned to me earlier, what made you laugh, or what made you want to do all of this?
Because I learned by example. Yeah. So, and plus, growing up as a kid in the States, my heroes then were like Eddie Murphy, and then coming here during the summers, I was exposed to the local brand of comedy. There was no stand-up, but there was comedy, and it's a great comedy. And I was lucky enough to spend my summers just being on the sets of live tapings for Champoy, with my Tito Noel, Trinidad, and his partner Suba Serrero, and then Gary Leasing, and
of course,
and that whole gang. Wow, I got to see Filipinos who look like me doing comedy, and they have this massive following. I mean, they're TV folks, but they also did great live stuff.
Yes.
And so that inspired me, this is possible. I can do this in the States at some point, but who's going to do it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I mean, you said you weren't a funny guy. I mean, this was not something that you grew up and says, I want to do stand up, I'm going to write down all my jokes and my skit. I mean, so what happened to you that says, I can actually make this work?
Yeah, well, it's...
People find me funny.
No, I know people, you know what? I was secretly funny. I was known as the funny guy, but if you look at him, he's a serious kind of introvert, and that's how a lot of comics usually are, because we just gather, we just kind of put everything together on the inside. We do a lot of preparation and bring it to you guys, the audience, on stage, and that takes a lot of energy, and it wipes us out.
I mean, you make it look so simple once you're up there. It's like, I can dish this out, I can do this, in my sleep. It's so easy but what actually happens behind the scenes, and how to create a skit, or I won't say a joke, because it's not really a joke.
Well, it's all those elements.
Okay,
it's a joke, it's a skit, it's a performance, and all of those. I mean, the one thing about stand-up comedy is you have all of these multiple art forms happening all at the same time. So we're writers, we're producers, performers, we're directing our own performance, that whole production, all in that 5-10 minutes. It's all those aspects, disciplines happening all at the same time, and people forget. So I know you're a comedian, but are you an actor? It's one and the same.
Yes, yes.
You know?
And there's something, as you mentioned, there's something to be said about Philippine comedy and about Filipinos. Of course, you know, we're so mababaw and we just love to laugh and we just like to have a good time.
Exactly.
So with that, July 22nd, do invite everybody else.
This is this is my my one gig, and you know, since 5 years of being gone. So I'm going to be at the Music Museum on Saturday, July 22nd. At like an 8 p.m. show. You can get tickets at comedymanila.ph. Tickets are going to go really fast, so please don't wait. So this is going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to working with these new batch of comics and bringing my work to a brand new audience.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for visiting us again after 5 years.
My pleasure. I'll see you in 5 years again.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Shorter. Thank you so much for being with us.